Good morning, everyone, and welcome. This is the Diana Wright Show Live. My name is Diana Wright, and we welcome you from around the world and in the United States. Thank you so much for being with us today. And, I'm going to start off this morning, apart from just asking you to love yourself and, of course, to appreciate your boxes of blessings each and every morning and each and every day. I simply want to start off with death and accolades, because I truly wonder why people always wait until you die before they give you the accolades and recognize what you've done and what you haven't done. Why do we wait all the time to recognize people for what they've done, the good they've done? And as I watch the continuous coverage of the death of James Gandolfini, who was made famous by his role in the HBO series The Sopranos, why didn't anyone tell him all this nice stuff? Because they have been covering him since yesterday. I was sitting at my computer and breaking news came across and I saw his name and I said died at 51. So I investigated and realized who it was. Because you tend to kind of see people in the role they play as opposed to who they really are. So now we hear that he was so nice and tender guy. And people are speculating, is it his weight that made him die? Or did he have heart disease? Did he have high cholesterol? And everybody is just going on and on. And I am truly asking you today, give me my accolades now while I'm alive. Appreciate me now, because for me, I don't wait to tell my mother when she dies that I love her and I appreciate the way she raised me and I thank her for the way she raised me and all the opportunities she gave to me and all the things she's done for me and made me who the person I am. She didn't do it alone, God helped. But why wait? We always seem to wait until people die and then we say how wonderful they were and how great things they did and all this kind of stuff. I didn't even realize he was helping the troops when they came back home until yesterday. How soft and tender a guy he is until yesterday. Married twice, have kids, have a 1-year-old, I think, that won't even know who he is. And for me, I just couldn't believe he was only 51. Because he looked much older. To me, seemed much older even in his behavior. And, I guess because you equate him with the role he played on television. So why do we wait? So my big challenge for you today, another challenge. Yes, I like to give challenges because I'm still thinking of the people who are diabetic, who I gave the challenge since last Wednesday, which was Wellness Wednesday. I gave the challenge, please, if you're diabetic, can you possibly give up carbs and sugar for 21 days and see what happens to your body and how you feel? And let me know if you're successful. There has to be one person out there listening to the program that knows one person that's diabetic, or has a friend that has a diabetic person in their family, because it seems like diabetes is taking over the planet. So, I truly ask and give you this challenge today. Whomever you have around you that you appreciate and that you love and that you think they're doing something great or something good or something that will help someone else, don't wait until they die to tell them, please. Can you start off by today, doing it today? And if you don't want to start off with anything dramatic, just talk to your parents. Let them know how much you appreciate them. Let them know how thankful you are to be their child. Let them know that you thank them for being your parent. Let them know that you thank them for the way they raised you. Let them know that you thank them for all that they have provided for you to be the person that you are today. And if you can't do the parent thing, find somebody. But please, as I heard a preacher say today, that if you go to the, or was it last night? I watch so much religious television, I never know which day I'm watching. But anyway, most of the money is in the cemetery. Why? Because so many people die with their dreams and their talents locked in before they were ever recognized or earn any money from it. So it's there in the cemetery. Don't allow that to happen to you. Whatever you do, even if you fail at it, even if it doesn't work out, just try, just do something. Make the effort. Step on it. Go. And be who you want to be. Forget about the naysayers and the negative people around you, because they're always going to be there. And you should be thankful for them too, because they should motivate you to move and press on. So as I think about James, and I think about the fact that his 1-year-old will only know the person that they see on television, people are going to have to tell that 1-year-old about their dad as opposed to knowing your dad. So please don't wait until people die to show them your appreciation. They're not hearing you anyway. Are they? No, they're not. They're not hearing you. So appreciate your wife, your husband, your children, your parents, your friends, whomever it is at this moment. Today, as at this juncture. And do not wait. Please, if you have anything for me, don't wait until I die to give it to me, because I don't need it then. Don't want it then. Not interested in it then. I want to know now how you feel. What have I done for you? How you appreciate me? How I made an impact in your life through my show? In Jamaica and in London and in Florida and now online? I want to know it now. I don't want to wait until I die, because first of all, when I die, my funeral will be private. So you won't even get to say it if you wanted to. So please, people, I'm just saying all of this to say, don't wait to show your loved ones that you appreciate them. Well, the media is not going to change, because they only wait until you die, and then they jump on it and they try to interview everybody who knew you from you were born until you died. Why can't we do it differently? But you know, they say good news is not good news. It doesn't make good news. So that's the reason they focus on the death and the grime and the bad stuff and people killing people. So as you go about your day today, I am giving you the challenge to find someone in your life that you can appreciate today. That you can tell them that you love them and thank them for all they've done for you. Try that and see how it feels. I promise you it will feel good. And they might just reciprocate to you. So, welcome again to the Diana Wright Show Live. We are here inside the 10:30 hour, and I just want to inform you that I might not be with you tomorrow, because I have to take my daughter to do all the college things that parents are supposed to do, and I must do. So, just letting you know that right up front. And, you know, you don't wonder where I am if you don't see me tomorrow. I'm going to try to get back. But if I don't, I told you. See, I don't keep it. I'm telling you now. So, anyway, on another note, Paula Deen, yes, that Paula Deen. I was kind of blindsided and shocked. She's being sued for being basically a racist and using the nigger word. I can say the nigger word, the N word is what you call it, but the word is nigger. And I wish people would stop using that word nigger to describe black people. Because if you look in the dictionary, people, nigger does not mean black. It means a worthless person. That's what it means in my dictionary anyway. Would you like to check yours and call me and let me know what yours says? So harassment and racist and nigger word and all that kind of stuff. Paula Deen? Oh, wow. Am I surprised about that? But that just tells us that we should never be surprised about what happens with people, because you just never know what they're going to do, what they're going to turn up, how they're going to behave once they get a lot of money. You just don't know. Once they have their own estate and their helpers and stuff like that. Oh my goodness. Wow. You know, as my mother reminded me the other day, that you always say that you just don't want a mansion. You want a beautiful, pretty house, but it doesn't have to be a mansion. And that's truly what it is. I'm not into keeping up with the Joneses. I just want a house that's beautiful, nicely decorated inside, because I truly don't live outside. I live inside. Outside needed to be taken care of, but not by me, because I don't do dirt. Remember that. So, but then people are telling you that you should wish for big things, because if you don't, then you won't get the big thing. Well, I wish for big things in other aspects of my life, like my career and influencing people and being able to help people and give people courage and give people inspiration and all that kind of stuff. That's my big dream. And hopefully my book, which is coming out in about 2 weeks, it will be on Amazon.com. It's titled Deadly Negligence, and I please want you to create all the buzz you can about deadly negligence, because it is a book that will absolutely get you to the edge of your seat, and you will realize that God is still in the business of working miracles. Yeah, and favor ain't fair, remember? Some of us are favored more than some, but that's just how life seems to work. So Deadly Negligence is the name of the book. Talk about it. Tweet about it. Facebook about it. Whatever you need to do about it, just get it out there. And please, when it comes to Amazon, just go and buy your copy instantaneously, so you can read the story and know what's been going on in my life. Some of you will be totally affected. Some of you will cry. Some of you will be sad. But most of you will realize what I want you to realize is that God is in the business of working miracles, and you should never, ever, 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 ever give up. And fight for what you believe in, because it will come to pass. That's what I would like for you to get from my book. Truly, truly get. Is that whatever you're going through, you can truly overcome. Yeah. So, anyway, I guess the Heat's fans are on pins and needles. And now that LeBron has taken off his headband, which is becoming the news of the day, that he took off his headband, so maybe that's why he won again and forced Game 7. Well, my boy, my brother, LeBron, he's going to have to pull some really hard things out of his hat. Headband and all. Because his fans are on pins and needles to see who will win Game 7. Yes. So we'll see how that turns out. And did you know that the church that claimed and wanted to cure people from being homosexual, from being gay, into straight, they have now closed their doors and are apologizing for even letting people, or contributing to the fact that people committed suicide in their efforts to try to make them straight. How should we interpret that today? What should we learn from that? Because I like to figure out where are the lessons in what takes place. And how do we determine that we have the power as preachers to make someone who's gay straight? Well, now they're apologizing and they have closed their doors. But I'm sure there's someone else that's going to start up with a different name and a different agenda. So I don't know how the gay community feels about this, but is it worth someone committed suicide for you to try to change them from who they think they are or who they're practicing to be? Or is suicide something that you were thinking about when you started this? So let's move over to South Africa, because interesting story coming out of South Africa, you see. Apartheid, that's what they call it, apartheid, but I like to call it apartheid, because that's how I see South Africa from I was growing up. A country with two sets of lifestyles and people, black and white. The white people wanted to be segregated from the black people, so apartheid. And the black people, headed by Nelson Mandela, who is struggling to live right now, they triumphed when he left jail. But there are some white people in South Africa who still don't want to be involved with black people. But you see, in South Africa, it's kind of obvious, it's out there. In America, it's more secret. It's more under the rug. It's more under the bed. It's more sweeping it away and act as if it doesn't exist. But as we struggle with our black president that Republicans seem to really truly hate, and as I hear the Tea Party people spewing their hate yesterday, what really struck me is when one man said, "Oh, they come here not to work, but to slit our throats." Oh my goodness. Wow. And then I wonder why we cover that in the media anyway. I only mention it because it just seems so extreme. And Michelle Bachmann and all those other people, Glenn Beck the crazy, and they're on there saying things that you're wondering, are they sane or are they just mad people? Or do they just hate? And Michelle Bachmann is quickly saying, oh, this has nothing to do with any color or any, origin or whatever. Can we just kind of turn inside and look and see what we're really saying and how hateful it sounds, the things we say? So yes, that's what's going on. So the Tea Partiers are in Washington, with their crazy self. The media is not giving them a lot of coverage. Praise the Lord for that. But the little we hear is just so extreme that you wonder. So here we go now to Kleinfontein, South Africa. An all-white enclave, less than an hour from South Africa's capital, is fighting to hold on to a segregated life reminiscent of the country before Nelson Mandela toppled the apartheid regime. So, Tea Party, white folks in South Africa, is there a difference? I'm asking you. So, we have a quotation here from Marissa Hasbrook. We feel that our culture is being threatened and we want to protect it and we want to nurture it, she says. And she is a writer and mother who serves as a voluntary spokeswoman for a gated community called Kleinfontein or Kleinfontein, whichever way you want to pronounce it. A bust of Hendrik Verwoerd, who is credited as the father of apartheid. I don't know if you all know his name. Let me say it again. I shall spell it so you can write it down. Henrik, Hendrik, and his last name is Verwoerd. I want to say her weird, but I think it's her. I think it's Verwoerd, okay? Because I really wanted to say Verwoerd because of what he created. But anyway, so a statue of him sits at the entrance of this community called Kleinfontein. Okay, so Kleinfontein does not hide its ties to South Africa's divided past. Yes, because they have a bust right there. Nor its mistrust of the country's present. Okay. As its entrance stands a bust of Hendrik Verwoerd, who is seen as the father of apartheid. Yes, it's there. So also a fence surrounds its almost 2,000 acres and guards in fatigues police at the entrance of the community. Condemned as racist for some critics. That's what they're being called in South Africa. Among the reasons that Hasbrouck and others in the cooperative town cite for walling themselves off are the country's high crime rate and institutionalized affirmative action. They're telling us that's the reason they walled off their community? Which they say results in white people being frozen out of jobs in university places. Does that sound familiar to you? Like some things that are going on in the US of A? Before moving to the town of some 1,000 residents, applicants must embrace the community's core values, in quote, which are about being a Protestant Christian, an Afrikaner, remember that name? The group descended from Dutch settlers and speak Dutch-based Afrikaans. No non-whites or Jews live or work within its boundaries. You heard me. No non-whites or Jews. Less than 25 years after the end of the apartheid regime run by white Afrikaners, Hasbrouck said their specific identity was under threat, she said. Quote, my son is a 10th generation with the Hasbrouck name in South Africa. We are not colonists. We have been here for generations and generations, building up the roads, making the infrastructure, she says. And suddenly, we don't feel welcome anymore. If Afrikaners' rights aren't protected, the children of a community that South African President Jacob Zuma calls Afrikaans, only white tribe, will disappear, according to Marissa. So the residents of Kleinfontein or Kleinfontein have dug in and built a community that they say reflects their heritage. Residents have to be approved by a committee, and all the work is done by Afrikaners. Signs declaring, we are here to stay in Afrikaans, the property, sorry. Just want to think of the word poverty there. So does that remind you of anywhere? You know, like my friends say they went to a restaurant in Palm Beach, on the island of Palm Beach. And they were looked at and kind of scorned in the restaurant till a European man got up and stood up and said, if they can't be here, I won't be here. They're entitled to be here just like I am entitled to be here. In a restaurant in Palm Beach County. This happened like in 2004. Not a long time ago for me. So, how do we compare what's going on in South Africa with what's going on here in the US? And also the fact that, you know, all these celebrities are going to South Africa and acting like South Africa is so changed and so wonderful and all the things that happen, we should just kind of forget about it. Now we're reminded that there's an entire community that decided that they want to wall themselves in because they want to protect their whiteness. They want to protect apartheid. They want to protect their Afrikaans. So we know, don't we, that all the things we try to push under the rug, and when we listen to the Tea Party in Washington, how much we realize hate for immigrants, it's at its boiling point, especially the fact that today they're going to be voting on border security for the immigration bill. Oh, the Tea Partiers are mad. So, let's continue. But the issue of who is allowed to live in Kleinfontein, who is excluded, offends many. Its residents are from the same white minority that ruled the country for decades, imposing strict racial segregation and oppressing the majority non-white population. While the community has been in existence in the outskirts of Pretoria since 1992, 2 years after anti-apartheid icon Mandela was released from prison and 2 years before blacks were allowed to vote, criticism of it has grown recently, just recently. In late May, a black man was blocked from buying a house there. Demonstrators protested outside its gates, and local officials launched an investigation of the community, saying discrimination on the basis of language, race, and color is illegal. But I do wonder and ponder how many communities in America are black people not even welcomed. Remember Oprah, who tried to go into a store and she could not believe that they actually locked the door and would not let her in because she is black? Because she thought that because she was Oprah with all the billions of money that she has, they would let her in, and they didn't. So, how different are we in America from South Africa? How many neighborhoods here would rather they see no black people or no brown people or no immigrants? Because let's bunch them all in. There seems to be a roller coaster of hate for immigrants all of a sudden. It's not really all of a sudden, as people are saying. It's always there. It's just coming out into the open. It's coming from under the sheets and under the blanket and under the pillow and under the bed and under the toilet. But it's here. So what do we do? Because they don't come here to mow your grass, they come to cut your throat. Wow! What harsh words. How should we interpret all of that? And should we be looking over our shoulders each and every day? I refuse to do that. Fair is not part of my vocabulary. And it shouldn't be part of yours. Because you should simply be loving who you are, being strong in your values, and loving the fact that you are indeed black, brown, or immigrant. And as that entertainer said the other day, that black people are oriented to hate themselves. Sorry to disappoint you. I wasn't. And a lot of my friends weren't. Yeah, a lot of my friends got a whole lot of whooping and stuff, but that wasn't to say you should hate yourself. But look inside yourself and see, are you a hater or a love person? Which one are you? Because you can't be both. You can't hate people and then you love. And even the Tea Partiers, we can't hate them either. We just have to remember the words of Jesus when he was on that cross. He said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." And I truly believe that Michelle Bachmann and all those Tea Partiers, they truly don't understand what they're doing. So forgive them and keep praying that they will be shut down eventually, unless they can speak some more positive things. What are they willing to do? What does the Republican Party want to do? Instead of always saying no, do you have a plan? Do you have your own plan? Is your own plan, apart from Mr. Paul Ryan, who wants to go with the Ayn Rand system of not helping the poor or not helping anyone, you have to help yourself by yourself, unto yourself? I don't believe you should depend on the government either. But a lot of people get to be down on their luck, or down sleeping in their cars, or not able to find food, not because of anything they did not do. It just happened that they lost their job. And did you know that most of us are just 2 or 3 paychecks away from being homeless too? So those people, I don't see why the government can't help those people until they get back on their feet, because most people do not want to ask for assistance or ask for help. Just look at the people when they're showing you, the food banks and the soup kitchens and stuff. Look at the people in there. How depressed and sad they look. Some of them hold their heads down. They don't even want the camera to see. So you think they're happy to be there? No, they're not. But at some time in life, we all get to a place where we need some help. It might not be help from the government. We might just need a help from a friend, or help from a loved one, or something of that nature. But we need some kind of help at some point. Even if we're just asking someone to pray for us, that's asking for help. When I ask someone to pray for me, that's asking for help. And as we twirl around on our high horses, I want us to keep in mind James from The Sopranos today, as he died at 51. None of us know when we're going to be taken out by God, because he could have survived if God wanted him to. He's only 51. So he could have survived like Larry King did, and all those other people, Bill Clinton did, and everybody did, and they get their hearts fixed up. And Dick Cheney, look how long Dick Cheney is traveling on. So he could now come to defend the NSA. But his time had come, and it came yesterday. And look what he was doing. He wasn't even working. He was on vacation in Italy, the land of feeling great and free. Look where he was, in a 5-star hotel, no doubt. So you just never know. And despite all the accolades he's getting today and yesterday, and all the memory and remembrance, I promise you in 2 weeks, no one will be talking about him. And he, like you and I and everyone else, will get the same amount of real estate in the ground. No more, no less. So let's try to do the love thing instead of the hate thing. How about that? And if I sound like a preacher, I'm not a preacher. I just want to impart to you. I'm not trying to make anybody be like me either, or have my values, or my, I have something that I call complete-itis. I believe that if I start something, I have to finish it. Because if I don't finish it, I feel horrible, simply putting. So I'm just encouraging you to be like that. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. If I can't, I'll let you know I can't do it, but maybe I can do it next day, or next week. Or maybe there's a roadblock in my way that I can't get it done for you, but I'll try another avenue. That's just me. And you don't have to be like me. Because my mother taught me to love myself, and as she always said to me, when I went to her with all my dreams and all the things I wanted to achieve, she simply said, "Whatever makes you happy, my daughter." So I impart that to you as much as I can, but that doesn't mean I want you to be like me. Because people like to say that to me sometimes. Oh, if I talk about being single and loving it, that was actually a topic of one of my shows in Jamaica, single and loving it. And Pearl Palmer was actually in that show. So I reminded her when I spoke to her 2 days ago, or a day ago. Yeah. About that. And I reminded her because I just actually reviewed the program on one of my tapes. So, So when I talk to people about single and loving it, they go, oh, you're married, so you don't have anything to worry about. Yes, I do. Do you think being married is all glitz and glamour? When I was single, I had a greater time than when I'm married. Because when I was single, I was free to do anything I wanted to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it. Have nothing to worry about. No family to think about. You could go and do what you please. But when you have a family, life change. You got to adjust. You got to do things differently. You have other people to take responsibility for, like your children. And if you talk to people about loving yourself or not worrying about the color of your skin, they go, oh, well, you're light skinned anyway, so what are you worried about? No, that's not the point. There are lots of things about myself that I could change or would want more of. I would like a little more hair because I lost most of it when I was so stressed in the past 6 years. So, you know. But it's okay. It's no big deal. I work with it. Because I hate that weave thing. It just drives me crazy. It just drives me crazy. Because I can't take those little things that you feel in your head. Okay? And a wig, yeah, I've tried wigs, but I don't like something on my head all the time. Okay? Maybe when I get a little older, I may just go back to the wig thing. The weave thing, no, that is just too painful for me. Okay? So I'm just trying to show you how people always find an avenue to get back at you when you're trying to tell them something positive. So, unless you are Joel Osteen that they can't get to, but I'm sure they get to him in another way. Yeah, they do. They send him some mean emails. He talks about it sometimes. But anyway, welcome to the program. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is the Diana Wright Show live online, and we welcome our viewers from around the world and in the United States. And we are reminding you that April 30th is International I Love Me Day. 2014 is just around the corner. Ha ha ha. We will soon be celebrating Christmas. And then there's New Year's. And then there is April 30th, the International I Love Me Day. I promise you, it goes pretty fast these days. Just like retribution goes fast too. It doesn't take a long time anymore. So I'm just asking you to take what I say. Hope it can help you. Hope it can inspire you. Hope it can help you to find your goals and your passions and your dreams and move on them immediately. But if you don't, it's okay too. Simply okay too. So as we take this journey together, I just hope that you will find it within yourself to do, as Spike Lee would say, do the right thing. Okay, my big question for this day, as we move on to something else, is, why is it that in the Caribbean, you know, when you watch HGTV, which is my favorite channel and the food channel, because I don't have to break my neck to change a channel because some offensive sexual ad is coming on or anything like that. When you check out these Caribbean places, the rents are enormous. The prices of their houses are ridiculous. Is that what we got to pay for sunshine? I don't think so. I think the people in the Caribbean are just losing it because they have jacked up the prices of rents and of course it doesn't matter what their currency is, they're charging you in US dollars. The mighty US dollar is what reigns. So I'm asking you the question today. Is sunshine worth all that they're offering in the Caribbean? Is it worth it? Are the beaches worth it? Do you go to the beach all the time? A lot of people tell me they live in Florida because of the beaches. And I say to them, when last have you been to the beach? I'm terrible. I really like to push people's buttons. I do. I truly do. And these are my friends. So I will say, oh, you love to live in Florida. And they say, yes, I do because of the beaches and the water. And so I go, when last have you been to the beach? I haven't been. Don't go. But I know it's there if I want to go. Okay, what's the point, people? Seriously, and those are the answers I get from my friends and associates and acquaintances. Because friend is a big word, you know. And love is a big word too. So there are people that you love. There's people that you love. There are people that you love like. And there are people that you love eternally. So there are different phases of love. Don't believe that love is just love on the surface, because it really isn't. Because there's some people you need to love them at a distance. You don't want them in your personal space because they are too negative to be around, and destructive and jealous and envious and insecure and ridiculous. So you love them over there. Yeah? So love them from a distance. But there's some people you love, you just want to be with them all the time. But don't smother them though, because they'll turn away. They'll get tired of you. Okay? Some people you just want to be with all the time, and some people you just want to love them and, you know, have them there, but, you know, nothing really happens. So phases of love. So can somebody tell me why in the Caribbean the houses are so expensive to buy and the rents are so exorbitant? Let me know, please. Someone out there, call me, text me, whatever, email me, Facebook me, let me know why. Probably get a lot of response on Facebook, because I do know a lot of folks are watching the show in Jamaica. So why is it that you're charging so much money? And when you look at the places, some of them are so broken down and need some serious gut renovation. And I'm just going, what? And it's every island. I don't know one that is not. But if there's one that is affordable, please let me know. I'd love to know. Seriously. Anyway, did you know a little more sleep can actually help you if you are diabetic? Especially men. You need to get some more Z's in your system. It will help with type 2 diabetes. Yeah, I just found that out and I'm telling you now. So I expect you to put that into part of your change of your challenge that I gave you if you're diabetic. Apart from losing the carbs and losing the sweets, get some Z's. It will do you good. Okay. Alrighty. Moving right along, we will see that if you love Dolce & Gabbana, they're having their own problems in Italy right today. Yeah. Fashion designers Domenico Dolce and Stefano Gabbana, which makes you Dolce & Gabbana, were given a suspended 20-month jail sentence yesterday after being found guilty of hiding $1.3 billion in income from tax authorities. So it's not just the U.S. going after people who are not paying their taxes, it's just about everybody. The suspended sentence, which one of their lawyers said they would appeal, means they will avoid prison as long as they commit no other crimes for 5 years. So if you love the Dolce & Gabbana label, which I think my tested glasses frame is Dolce & Gabbana. The conviction is the culmination of efforts by tax authorities to prosecute the pair. 2 years ago, a court threw out charges of fraud of the designers whose creations have earned them celebrity friends like Madonna were not present in court in Milan and have always denied the charges. How can you deny the charges if you didn't pay your taxes? I'm not quite getting that part, because it's on record whether you pay or you didn't pay. Okay, we will read the reasons for the verdict and we will appeal, says Massimo Denoi, one of the pair's defense lawyers. Public prosecutor, though, says something different. She says Gaetano Rutas has asked for a 2.5-year jail term. However, the two designers will have to pay 500,000 euros as a first installment of a fine that could reach 10 million euros. You know how many dollars that is? 13.4 million. The judge acquitted the pair of charges that they had filed inaccurate tax returns. The success of Dolce & Gabbana's sexy corset dresses and sharply tailored suits, favored by celebrities such as Kylie Minogue, Kate Moss, and Kate Moss. As a matter of fact, Kate Moss, I mentioned her name. Do you know that she's going to be posing nude for Playboy? And then I thought to myself, is that the same Kate Moss, skinny bones and ribs person that's going to pose for Playboy nude after we haven't heard from her for a while? That would be very interesting. I won't buy the Playboy magazine to see it. I'll just wonder. And Bryan Ferry have earned them a glamorous lifestyle. In 2009, though, they hosted Madonna for her birthday at their villa, perched above the chic Mediterranean resort of Portofino. The case involves an investigation that began in 2008. So see, it's going on from 2008 until now, when Italian authorities tried to crack down on tax evasion as the financial crisis began to bite. But the Dolce & Gabbana inquiry is one of the few high-profile cases to come to trial so far. The judge ruled that the pair sold their brand to Luxembourg-based holding company Gado in 2004 to avoid declaring taxes on royalties of about 1 billion euros. That's $1.3 billion. So you see, these business people, remember Romney, who find a way to hide their money so they don't have to pay the taxes. Oops, nothing is secret anymore. Public prosecutor Laura Pedillo told the court in her closing arguments that the designers were, quote, well aware that that they would reap a tax advantage from this transaction. Gado is nothing but a shell company that took no administrative or financial decisions, said Ms. Pedillo. Gado is a radio relay station. So you understand that? They set up this little shadow company called Gado or however they pronounce it. And the orders originated in Milan and bounced from Luxembourg back to the Milan offices where the decisions regarding the brands were made. So, here you go. I keep saying to people, if you keep doing things in the dark, it will come out in the light eventually. Do you think people are stupid? I mean, you know, shadow companies are something that a lot of corporations create to not pay taxes, but eventually they get caught. Okay, there's a cheating scandal that I want to talk to you about, and this is one in sports. And this is one that affects Miss VCB, as she likes to call herself, Veronica Campbell-Brown. Her agent insists one of the cornerstones of Jamaica's wide-ranging sprint success is not a cheat, even though the test results read differently. Olympic gold medals were worth getting a little dirty in track and field. While her case is being decided, the three-time Olympic gold medalist will sit out, and her country will try to make sense of what of its longest held fears, a high-profile track star getting busted for doping. So did Veronica Campbell-Brown dope? Her test came back that she did, but she said she didn't. Her agent said she didn't. So who should we believe? Campbell-Brown, or VCB as she's simply known in sprinting circles, tested positive for a banned diuretic at a meet in May and will serve a suspension while anti-doping officials rule on the positive drug test. Island track officials announced this on Tuesday. After days of swirling rumors, there were lots of rumors going around, you see, before this actually took place. The Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association said the 2004 and 2008 Olympic champion at 200 meters was suspended from competition while a disciplinary panel reviews the case. They said the matter is being handled according to rules of track's international governing body. That's the IAAF. And a spokesperson from there, Nick Davis, did not return any calls. So no one really knows the truth. So, okay, Mr. Blake, who is the president of the IAA, that's the Jamaica AAA, that's the Athletics Association in Jamaica, he said Campbell Brown voluntarily withdrew herself from competition and accepted a provisional suspension, which means she'll miss this week's national championship in Kingston. Of course, they're having a national championship in Kingston, which is a big deal in Jamaica. Campbell Brown's manager, Claude Bryan, said the accusation came as a shock to her. And the 31-year-old champion is determined to clear her name. Veronica is not a cheat, he said. Via hard work and dedication, accomplished a record on the track, which is absolutely remarkable. So I'm not quite sure how to read that, because if the test says you have, then I'm not so sure. So we'll leave that until we get the results of that, because I'm sure there's somebody that's going to let us know what's going on. Also, a lot of us are planning vacations right now, and we're going to go places and we're going to do things. And while you're planning your travels, maybe you want to travel and come to the white party that's being thrown by Save a Life Jamaica Foundation on October 5. I'm thinking of something else happening in August, which is a seminar, a customer service seminar held by People 490. But anyway, let's get back to October 5. That's where we want to be right now. October 5, the Save a Life Jamaica Foundation is throwing a white fundraising party in Palm Beach County, and you're all invited. Guess what? Invitation is open to everyone around the world. So, before we get to the travel deal, you can make your travel arrangements to get to the party. All right? And it's only going to cost $30. So if you start saving, like I've been saying for months, you will get to the 30. It's not a big stress to help save a life, because it's a good thing to try to save lives. Okay, so if you haven't flown in a while, you might have missed the conversation and the conversion about a la carte travel, because they charge us to breathe on these airlines these days. So, airlines have feasted on fees consumers have to fork over if they want to. Say, bring your luggage. Maybe you want to just travel with your hands free. I don't know. The middle seat or the window seat. You have to pay for that too, I think. Or the aisle seat. Oh my goodness. Wow. Actually, do you have to pay to sit with your own families too? I'm not so sure. But anyway, as this story tells us, no airline has made fees more part of its bottom line than Spirit. They have a fee for just about everything. Anything from carrying on bag, $25 to carry on my own bag? Hell no. You book by phone and they charge you $10? The airline industry calls the practice unbundling, with the idea being that there's a basic airfare and most anything on top of the basics you can pay for if you want it. Okay, so if I pay for my airline ticket, then I can't go with any bags, because then I got to pay for the bag. And I make sure I can't talk to you on the phone, because I got to pay for that too. That sounds incredible. Okay, moving right along. Spirit, as you know, is a discount airline, so often starts out with the lowest price. Like, they have some $9 fares, but then when I talk to people, they say, oh, well, the fare was $9, but I ended up paying $130. It doesn't make sense to me. Wow. Okay, the larger carriers have joined the fee game too, not just Spirit. So not nearly to the extent of Spirit, which draws nearly 40% of their revenue from the dreaded fees. So you mean to tell me that Spirit is making 40% from just charging you those extra fees? And here's a list now of the airlines that make the biggest percentage of their income from charging fees to you, the consumer. And this according to IdeaWorks Company. All right, Spirit, 40%. Allegiant, 29.9%. Well, Spirit, they have an exact number of 38.5, but they kind of rounded off to about 40%. Jet2.com, 26. Who on earth is Jet2.com, please? Ryanair, I've heard of them, 21.8%, and Tiger Airways, 20%. While the airlines that make the biggest percentage of their revenues from fees, we humble travelers, we have to pony up mainly discount airlines. Wow. So here are the U.S. airlines that collect the most in fees. Now these are the big guys. United, they collected like $5.4 billion in fees. Delta, $2.6 billion. I did say billion with a B, not an M. Billion. American, $2 billion. Southwest, $1.7 billion. U.S. Airways, $1.1 billion. But didn't U.S. Airways just kind of get bought out by somebody? Is it Continental or American? I think it's American. Yeah, U.S. Airways. Weren't they just joined up with American? So, I don't know. Seems like you're going to be traveling Spirit a lot and paying a lot of fees. Maybe they're going to charge us to breathe when you go on the airlines. And those little stupid nuts that they give you in pretzel, which are just too salt to drive you into high blood pressure. You know, I just wonder if they need to just keep it. And when you ask them if they have any biscotti or those little biscotti cookies, they act as if they're giving you the airline itself, you know. So, and they give you a drink and you got to wait forever for the drink, and they make sure it's just one glass that you want. Don't ask for the whole can. It's not respectable. They actually think you're greedy if you ask for the whole can. Wow. Anyway, did you know that your boss is also watching you at work? You know, we're talking about the NSA so much, so I thought I would dig up some more stuff. So your boss is watching you. If you've decided to work from home, they are watching you. So Google is watching and saving. Facebook watching and saving. All the internet companies watching and saving. All the telephone services are watching and saving. NSA is watching and saving. And now your boss is watching you too. So if you decide that you want to work from home, and even if you're in the office, I gather now if you work for a company and you do driving, they have a way to monitor when you stop, how long you stop, and who you're talking to. I'm serious. I spoke to someone who does driving for a profession, and that's what they tell me. So you can't do no hanky-panky in the process. You got to work. But now they're also saying that once the bosses are monitoring the people working from home, they're realizing that those people working from home are more productive and better for the bottom line of their business. Yeah. So that's an interesting thought. So when you're allowed to work from home, don't forget that Big Brother is watching you. Apart from all the other people that are watching and tapping your phones and all the kind of stuff that we truly should not believe. I can't imagine the NSA having time to listen to my phone calls. That would be a waste of their time. They're looking out for people who are terrorists, and I'm not with that. So I'm not in fear of them listening to my phone calls. And you know, normally when I'm on the phone, especially with my mom, I go, and if you're listening to my phone call, I ain't talking anything back. Get off my phone. I like to do that just to make my mom laugh. Right, yes, okay. There's a couple in Britain, and I'm going to end it there today because I have lots more stories, but I'm going to end it there because I have quite a few things to get accomplished today. Couple in Britain took photos when they were 4 years old together. But the strange thing about those pictures that they took, they were both dressed as if they were getting married at 4 years old. 4 years old? Was I even thinking about wedding, marriage, anything like that? But in Britain, they're thinking of it at 4. But anyway, they got married for real when they were 21. And now they're both 91 and they're celebrating their 70th anniversary. Who knew that you could actually be married for 70 years, despite the fact that your husband is a pain, your wife is a pain, they drive you crazy sometimes, but you love them anyway. See, that's the thing about marriage. It's a love-hate thing. One day you love them, next day you hate them. But then you come back to the love. Because you go in your memory and you look at your wedding picture and you go, oh, that's what happened 20 years ago? Oh, maybe there was something there. So, Ron and Ellen saw each other growing up a lot because their parents, their fathers were friends. But Ron, who is, of course, their last name is Everest, he said this: "We have been in love from the age of 0. So Ron is quite a funny guy too, because, you know, he has a sense of humor. He's saying that they've been in love since they were age 0. So imagine that when they met and when they took that picture at 4 years old, they were actually mocking getting married, but they were really in love at that time. Oh my God, can you stay with someone for 70 years? I'm not so sure about that. That's a very, very, very long time. And now that we're living until we're 100 and 122, which is my aim, I don't know. 70 years? That's a long time. And to be in love from you were 0 years. That's what he says. I thought he was a guy with some nice sense of humor. So on that note, okay, I'm going to give you one more story because I just think you need to hear this. You truly do need to hear this. It almost sounds like a joke, actually. Imagine how great it would be if your body couldn't store fat. Because, you know, we all try to get rid of that fat around our waist, on our back, on our thighs, and all the other places. On our butts, a lot of people, a lot of women try to lose that weight on their butt, but my God, it's difficult to lose butt weight. So, of course, what might seem like a quick path to a lifetime of skinny jeans is in reality an incredibly rare and life-changing genetic condition. Of course, you know I'm going to ask Dr. Melanie Simpson about this next Tuesday. It's called MDP syndrome. It's believed to affect a grand total of only 8 people in the entire world. One of them is English competitive cyclist Tom Staniford, who enjoyed a normal weight throughout his childhood, but later in his life showed signs of an inability to store fat. Paradoxically, elevated fat counts in his blood led his body to believe it is obese, which in turn has led to diabetes. Despite those hardships, Stanford says he's led a relatively normal life, and he's even training for the 2016 Paralympic Games. So can you believe that? You can actually have something called MDP syndrome. Your body fat disappears. Be careful what we wish for sometimes. I don't know. That's one I'm going to leave to the side to ask Dr. Melanie to explain further for us, because I think it's important for us to know. 8 people in the entire world has this? Wow. That's absolutely incredible. So as I remind you of a few things before we go, I remind you of People 490. They're having their customer service seminar come August 3rd. It begins at 9, ends at 12 noon. And then from 1 to 2, she's going to have a business etiquette class. And of course, the customer service class or seminar is $69. And the other, which is a business etiquette class, is only $49. So if you think you need to get those things in your system and get it to your staff, because customer service, as you know, can either make your business or break your business, destroy your business or make it successful. You might just want to invest that $69 in yourself and your employees. You know the ones to pick that need the training, the ones you like, but they're just a little rough on the edges. And for those business people who are traveling and like to know the things that you need to do when you're negotiating with people from overseas, it's only going to cost you $49. So you need to call People490 and you need to go on their website and check them out. It's people490.com. And Dax is back. So I guess next Wednesday we will have Dax back with Wellness Wednesday right here on the Diana Wright Show. And telling you quite early that we are going on, the program will go on hiatus come July, and then we'll be back in August, just before all the other television shows start themselves back in September. So I think I'll come back before they do. All right, so we're going to be on hiatus from early July to late August. Just letting you know that way ahead of time so you can not just not tune in, what you need to do, because I might just surprise you while I'm on vacation. I'll take my iPad and I can come on live anywhere I am as long as I got my iPad. Okay, so I can do that and surprise you. So don't go away anywhere. Just be there. You never know, you might get a surprise visit from me during my hiatus time. So it starts in the beginning of July and it will end at close to the end of August. So just letting you know that. But also, I want you to go to my website and I want you to watch all the shows that you have not seen. The reruns. I'm not going to be able to run it for you in the live spot, but you can just go on and do the rerun thing. That's what we do. So you're going to watch all the programs that you haven't seen, because you just never know what you missed and what I would have said, or Dax would have said, or Dr. Melanie Simpson would have said, or a caller would have said, that just gives you a moment of light, inspire you, encourage you, enable you to get up and stand up for your rights. So that's what I'm inviting you to do come July and August, when I go on hiatus with the program. So I'll be on hiatus, doing all the good things I'm supposed to do, being a good daughter, spending some time with my mom, and, doing all the good things with my family, spending time. But you never know, I might just surprise you, because you are part of my family now. Each and every one of you from around the world, as long as you're tuned in and watching the Diana Wright Show live, or you're going on my website and catching up with the shows that you haven't seen, I promise you, you're part of my family. It's big. It's a big tent. And I thank you for being part of the tent. So once again, I thank you and welcome you to the program, the Diana Wright Show Live, as I say goodbye for this morning. And as I thank you again for joining me. And as I always say, if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it was never yours. Rad Wellness is good for you. The 21-day detox is something that you must try. Rad, the number 4, the letter U.com. Check them out. And I'm a living testimony for Rad Wellness. I truly am. And I have lots of people who are going to give testimonials when Dax is back on Wednesday, because I kind of told them to hold off until he gets back. Because, I want him to feel the love. So, thanks again for joining me today. And woo, woo, woo. Au revoir, adios, and ciao. Don't forget the 3 little words. I love me. And I know you love sandwiches. So just think of love as the meat of your sandwich. And the I as the bread, and the me as the bottom piece of the bread. So sandwich it and just say, I love me every single day. And don't forget to open your boxes of blessings, stay prayed up, and give love. It makes you feel so much better. Mend some fences. And don't wait until someone dies to give them their accolades and their love. And show them that you appreciate them. Have a great day. Be well.